Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. Today is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. I hope that your morning is going well. Mine is. I got up and I'm like, all right, today's the day. What am I doing today? Got my little sticky note of what I gotta get done. Today, usually I do my running on today, get all my stuff done, which I'm still gonna do, just not as much. I have Lauren usually, but she is not able to make it today. So I'm gonna kind of just do a minimal amount of running so I can get back here with the kids. And so later, I'll show you, we're gonna do a grocery haul. I do my grocery pickup at Walmart. Thank goodness it's pickup. For my freezer meals this week on Friday, I'm gonna be doing the lunch, and next week I'll do snacks, but I'm gonna get the groceries for the snacks. There wasn't a lot, just a little bit to pick up. So that we're gonna do today. We're gonna go to church and get our stuff set up for the week and run to the library because I got there too early last time. They were not open. I forget they have like limited hours. Post office, and then back home, and then I'll take the kids to the park today. We're gonna go to our big park to get them out because it's supposed to be a beautiful, gorgeous day. So I'm getting a pot of water boiling over here. I have my freezer meal because when you have a busy day, what's the last thing you want to do? Dinner. Last thing you want to do is dinner. So most people would opt to go to like drive-through Chick-fil-A or drive-through McDonald's or whatever because it's easier. Well, I've already got my freezer meal done. Well, almost done. So then I'll heat it up, put it in the pressure cooker, and just leave it, slow cooker, whatever you want to do, and it's done. I don't have to worry about dinner or today. We get to eat that. It's much better than Chick-fil-A. So that's a good thing. This morning I want to talk with you. A lot of you always request, what are we doing for school? And so there are so many videos on how you can homeschool, what you can do for homeschool, the best curriculum to buy, all these things. There is tons out there. Trust me, I've been homeschooling for 20 years, 22 years, 20, how many years have we been doing homeschooling? I don't even know, but it's been a long time, 20 years. Let's say at least 20 years, right? Because 25. Okay, I had to think of my numbers here. I'm supposed to be a teacher. Doing it for a long time. Let me share you for you new homeschoolers out there. I know right now everything is different and most people are forced into homeschooling right now, and they're going to do the online thing with their classes with school, and they're finding it frustrated with their kids, and some of them just opted to take it out of the system and just do their own thing for homeschooling, which is great. One thing that I learned, one of the best pieces of advice is I learned from my friend Tina. She told me, she's like, do nothing that first year. And I was like, what? Do nothing? Do nothing for school? What she's not going to learn? She's not going to know what to do. She's going to become not smart, all those things. The thing is, when your child is in school, in a regular school setting, they take a lot of attitudes from kids around them. Most of the time, wherever you're at as an adult, you kind of are like your environment, right? If you live work in a hostile environment with a lot of swearing, a lot of cuss words, all that, a lot of time you bring that back to yourself and you do that in your own home. Just saying, a little bit. When you're around a bunch of kids with a bunch of different attitudes and a bunch of different things and a lot of things they say and the trends and all these things, that's mostly what your kid is like. If you notice, like on Friday when you bring your kid home from school, they have attitudes and you have to deal with them. And then sometimes by Sunday, you're like, oh wow, everything was really good. Maybe not even the weekends you notice it, but maybe like when they have holidays and vacations, you notice that, wow, by the end of the week, they're a different person. Summer break, your kids usually turn by the end to be a different person. More attitude, right? Yes, it's because they're relearning a whole new set of behaviors because of what they are around. So that was one of my best tips of advice, because most people bring them home from school and then they go, oh, they're at school for 6 hours a day. So I have to do an hour of math. I have to sit them down, do an hour of English. I have to do an hour of this, an hour of that. And they go through and their kids hate it and they're screaming at it and they're yelling and they're like, I have no patience to do this. I don't even want to homeschool. Just send it back to school. Happens all the time. What it is you're relearning how to get along with your child. You're relearning how to spend time together. Natural play, natural learning. That was the first thing I learned. That was great. We didn't completely do nothing, but because I did start out doing the crazy school, and then I was like, what am I doing? I'm just fighting because I feel like I got to fill in my day with school, work. And then I went, okay, let's just do a little bit less. And then we still did things, and I still pushed way more than I should have. I'm learning a whole lot as I get older. And then I was like, okay, this is so much easier, just natural play. If you add up the amount of time that kids are at school, if you really, there is studies, don't take mine, but you can Google it, how much time a kid actually does work at school. Because you have to remember, teachers in the classroom, they don't work for 6 hours a day. They don't, trust me. They got breaks, they got recess, there's filler time, there's teacher wasting time in a nice way. Like it's filler work, busy work to keep them busy, so they're kind of out of the teacher's hair and the teacher can work with different people. They've got 30 kids in a classroom. There's no way those kids are doing an hour's exactly worth of schoolwork. Not happening. So remember, the amount of time is very minimal, and you can teach them the same amount of thing in just a few hours each day at home. So that was my first, is just get used to them being home. And I guarantee the next year you'll catch up on things. You might go through their time where they're in, you know, 3rd, 4th grade, they're learning cursive writing, and you didn't do it because you're taking a step back and just learning to be home. Well, guess what? The next year you can catch up on that cursive writing, and they're going to be older, so it's going to be a lot easier to learn. That was one thing I noticed as well. I learned as well is don't worry about getting in reading at exactly kindergarten, or that they have to learn all their math facts by whatever grade they recommend, or they're going to be a failure. Because if you start teaching it to your kids and they don't get it, and it's a struggle and they hate it, like cursive writing, reading, all those things that you have to learn that are just math facts. If they don't get it when you start teaching it to them, instead of pushing and making your kid feel bad, and to making them, degrading them and yelling and stressing yourself out, wait another few months and try it again. Be patient. Just go slow. Let them naturally. Not every kid is learning the same. That was another piece of advice I got, is some are different. I've noticed some say boys are a little bit slower in some things than girls, but I have found both mixture. At first, I was like my boys, I know they were like, just wait for a little bit. And I was like, wait for a little bit? Well, then they're never gonna learn, and we literally are never gonna learn. And I did wait, and then you know what? By the time they got into that little bit double-digit years, they learned a whole lot quicker than when they were younger. Because when they were younger, they were more hands-on, and they were doing a lot of tinkering and a lot of building and a lot of growing and a lot of, I'm gonna say guy stuff, and I don't mean that gender stereotype, because then, let me tell you, and then I realized then they learned their bookwork stuff, but then they went out in the world and they learned their hands-on stuff and they were better at it. But I did have girls that came along and they were more hands-on. So I'm not saying, it's just the personality and the type of person. So don't be so like block them into like, they have to learn this in kindergarten, they have to learn this in 1st grade, they have to learn this, because it does nothing but you're putting your kid into a little mold. And guess what? Not all kids fit into this little tiny rectangle. Some are out here, some are way over here. Most of the world's geniuses have been deemed and marked with, you know, they were lazy, they were not smart, they had ADD, they had all these things, and it's just that their brains work differently. So if your child doesn't fit into the mode of sitting and doing schoolwork for 6 hours a day, hey, realize that they're probably a genius inside there in a different way. You gotta be able to recognize their gifts and go, okay, this is what they're good at. Let's pursue that a little bit. So some tips of advice: just don't stress. Don't stress. If you are stressing, you're doing something wrong. And most of the time it's you. I know, it's not really the kid, it's you. I know dealing with attitudes, I know dealing with all that. If you put your kids in your home environment and you don't all the time put a tablet or a device in front of them to play video games, to watch TV, and there's nothing wrong with that, go ahead and do that. I do that. I need my time, kids do that. They don't get their half hour exactly screen time, they get way more. But if they get an environment where they can naturally do things, they do. Like even there's been times and seasons in my life where my kids had done their tablets a lot more than I would like to say that they do. But what I found is they might do that for a little bit, but after a while they do put those down and they go off and start playing and doing some creative play like Legos, or start drawing, or start building this. Kids do that. So it just naturally happens. Yes, if you're doing nothing but sitting there watching videos and just feeding them with snacks and letting them play video games, that's all they're gonna do. Encourage to play. Get them outside. Do something. Sometimes when I'm busy filming, working, doing life, I'll make sure that, okay, let's at least go to the park. Everybody, let's get outside and do something, just to get their brains off of doing, you know, nothing but the screen. So if you give them a natural environment where they can learn, we can get them out, take them out in nature, let them walk outside in the woods, even if they hate it for a little bit. Even your teens, they do take in things that you wouldn't even think they're taking in. So, all right, those are my tips of advice. So I'll probably have some more. What we do for school, I've done many videos, I think I've done 2 or 3 videos, how I homeschool my 6 kids for free, or my 8 kids for free, or whatever. This was, I still could do that. I don't do it for free now because it's easier in my season of life to buy some books that I can use. Now, because I'm in a different financial situation than I was back then, I remember, let me share real quick, when I started homeschooling, we've done curriculums where you buy the whole set and spend $300, $400, $500 a kid. And there's so much stuff to do. Becca, Rod, and staff, those are all great curriculums to use. But what I found is that you're sitting there trying to get so much done. It's so stressful. It's okay maybe if you have one child and you have nothing else to do. Great, wonderful, perfect. But myself, I had 10 kids. So what I found myself doing is going, oh my goodness, this is overwhelming. Let's skip. Let's go through and do, okay, you got that work? Okay, let's not do 50 more problems. Let's just move on to the next concept. And just, if if they had a struggle, they would do some more. I found that we wasted a lot of the work and did not do them. I think we've done textbooks before, we've done the Sunlight reading one before, and then one year I did, they were like workbooks, or like workbooks where they finish one, they go on to the next one. And then what I found is we didn't even do half the problems in the book, and I was like, why am I doing this? This is a joke. They're bored. We hate this. So then we had the crash of 2008, I think it was, where the economy crashed. And my husband worked in the auto industry. We lived in Michigan, so we were severely affected. They didn't have any stimulus checks. They didn't have any of that back then. So what happened is I couldn't buy school books. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I got nothing here. Then I started looking on, this is when the internet was kind of new. I know there was no YouTube, there was no online learning, but there was something starting out. And so I went online and we had an old school printer, and I was able to print off school pages of different topics and concepts that the kids had to learn. I just typed in their grade level and found like a ton of math, a ton of English, a ton of writing. We found some resources for science and history, and I was like, all right, so I just printed off. I printed off enough pages to do one a day for the whole year of each subject for the kids. Like math and English were my bases. The other ones I got ideas. There was just a lot of resources that we could do, and I wrote down ideas and saved science experiments, and we did that year. That was my greatest year of homeschooling, and I was like, wow. And then the next year came along, we had more money, and I was able to put some towards school, and I was like, wow, I'm just gonna go online and print stuff off, and then save that money for fun activities or field trips, things like that. And then I went to go online to get things, and what happened was, it was like, oh, sign up and you get 5 pages free a month. And I was like, what? And then it was like, go here, enter your email, then you could have access. And it was more like, okay, I couldn't get all this for free anymore. So I was like, ugh, okay, so we did what we could. I bought a few things then. And then I was like, if I ever do homeschooling books, I would just give them away to people to use. And that is where my curriculum was born out of. The idea was born out of back then. All right, so then over the years, what I found is I'm wasting all this time doing all these extra activities. So I had a lot more time back then. I started going, let me start with one class, one grade. And so I went to the library, I got all the scope and sequence books of, I think the books are they Ed Hirsch, where it's everything your 5th grader needs to know, everything your 4th grader needs to know. Those are great resources. I think it's Ed Hirsch, Hirsch, and it's like everything your 3rd grader should know, everything your 4th grader should know. And that was kind of like the scope and sequence for how I wrote my books. Those books I went through, and I started writing out math pages. Like it would say, has to know addition, 1 plus 1 through 10, and then double digits. And so then I started writing worksheets for my kids, and I started typing them on the computer and doing it. And so I did 1 grade a year, and then the next year I did another one. And then I just added eventually, and then that next child growing up could use that school year, and then so on. And I kept repeating, and I was like, wow, this is really good. So then I started blogging before I vlogged. And I was like, I'm gonna put these on here, and the Lord just put on my heart, give those away for free. And I was like, what, give them away for free? Okay, all this work? Sure. So I did. So I put those on there for free. You can go there still to this day to my plainandnotsoplain.com. You can go down and you can get the basic schooling for, I think, up through 8th grade. It's been a while, 9th grade maybe, for schooling for your kids, for math and English. There's writing, there's reading comprehension. It's just the basics. 3 R's, I would say, reading, writing, and arithmetic. And you can print off an entire year for free. Okay, so this was back when I could have an old school printer. I literally would buy the ink cartridges on inkjet or 123inkjets.com. I paid like $15 in ink and got like 3 cartridges or whatever it was. I would buy a box of a paper, and I think it cost me $20. And I would sit and print off all the pages. Now, it's a page a day, 180 days of school for 3 subjects. And then I did it for all 6 kids. I was able to use that whole box of paper off of, I think it was 2 ink cartridges. Now that's how great that printer was. Okay, well then eventually that printer died. And then I discovered wow. And then we got a new one. Wow, that ink cartridge lasts like through one package of paper. And I'm like, that is not even good. And then I was like, okay, I realized people can't print this off as inexpensively as I could back then. Then I decided to put my courses together into a book. So, and then this I sell on Amazon. If you can't afford it, go print the pages off or keep them on your computer screen and do them that way. I put on Amazon, I put it for the minimum that Amazon makes me put it for, so that it costs, because you gotta pay for paper, you gotta pay for shipping, you gotta pay for all the stuff that they do. You gotta pay for the service that I put this on there. This book right here covers what is on my blog for free. You can go to my blog and get it for free, or on here. Now these books I have gone through and edited a few times. There are a few mistakes. I said, people will say, oh, it's not perfect. No, it's not perfect. You might go through and find, most of the mistakes are out. Once in a while, Lauren, I'll be doing school, and she's like, Mom, you totally messed that up. And I was like, oh, I did. A few. The ones on my blog I need to change. There's a few more errors on there too. If you can look past that and go, okay, this is free. She's a human. I'm not a editing company. I'm not, hold on one second, this is boiling. All right, so I have not, the reason why school books, they can charge you $1 million is because they're paying somebody a lot of money to proofread and edit their program. I have not done that yet. Maybe in time I will, as I can. But so you are gonna find a few mistakes, because editing takes a long time. I'm one person. If I go back through it, since I wrote the curriculum, I might miss a few things. I might, and just skim over, because I've done it myself. So I'll start eventually over the years as time permits, which is not right now, going through and fixing a few, very small, very, very small. But nonetheless, don't be surprised if you find, oh wow, that one was totally wrong, Amy. Very small. And a couple of you will go through it and then they're like, oh, I found a mistake on page whatever. And they tell me, and that's awesome, because I write it down and I go to fix that for the next time. So if that's good with you, you're not gonna find perfection, because I'm not like this one, Abeka. I'm not an Abeka company that has paid. They have a lot of people. If you look in the front of this book, all the people that they have yeah, the author, the edition, the editors, the contributors, there's like a whole team on here that put these things together. That's not me. I'm one person. I'm a mom at home trying to teach my kids affordably and wanting to share that with you. So that was how my curriculum started. So I don't say that I do homeschooling for free anymore, because I don't print my stuff off, but you can pretty much do it for free. So I have all those resources on my blog. Go there and go check it out. You don't have to sign up. You don't even have to put your email in. You don't even have to be a subscriber of my channel here or my website there. You can just click it and it opens up as a PDF, and you can download it and keep it. I don't ask for anything. Keep it, do your thing. If you want the book, I printed off the papers, and then what I did is I had a pile of English, a pile of math, and a pile of the writing, and spelling. I was thinking, what was the other one? Spelling. And then what I did is I sat, if you look back at my videos, I took one math, one English, one spelling, and then we paper hole punched it and put it in a binder. I did the next one, put it right behind it, kept going all the way through. One time we did it in a whole big binder, and I was like, that's a lot. So then I started doing it in folders. I did a folder a month. So I'd have one for September, one for October, one for November, one for December. And that worked out really good too. So you can do that. That's a great way to do it. Look back on my videos, how I homeschool my kids for free, and you can see how I did that concept. Fast forward, now I can buy my books. I buy my own books. I do. So what we do for school, let's start younger. When kids are little, everyone's like, my kid's gonna be in kindergarten, what do I do for school? Nothing. Play with your child. Play with your child. Let them learn through playing. One other thing is the concept of unschooling. Now, when I first heard that concept, I was like, what? Just let your kids play? They're like free-loving kids. They're never gonna learn. They're gonna grow up and not have any kind of knowledge of math or formulas or anything. Again, a myth, and I realized kids learn so well when you do unschooling. The ones that we have, even the ones we do, I would say a mixture of unschooling and a little bit of workbooks or textbooks. The unschooling, I realized that kids, they're usually a whole lot smarter because they've learned a real life approach to that, and they can do fine when you give them a test, because they're like, oh yeah, it's simple, it's just like this. Where the ones that have been schooled how to take these tests and schooled how to do these things, they kind of have to think through things a little bit differently. And so don't be afraid of the term unschooling. great thing. So when your kids are little, play with them. Play with them. Make some Play-Doh and play. Go get some beads. Google all the activities to do with your 5-year-old, activities to do with your 6-year-old. There is 1,000 out there that you can do that helps stimulates their brain thing. Don't just lock them into doing bookwork and sitting at a desk all day long. You're teaching them to do nothing but sit at a desk all day long. Get them out playing, active, doing things. We don't start school until, I think the minimum here in North Carolina is 7 years old. So that's when we start school officially. We have, my curriculum is first grade. I don't even have first grade because I don't have first grader, but it's basically one of these and it's first grade. First grade is where I start. We originally put that as kindergarten, but I found that it's too early, so I put it as first grade. What I do is we do basically 1 page a day, maybe 2. I know, not that much. Amy, how dare you? You're teaching your kid nothing. No, no, no. What we do is that 1 page. It might be a letter, which I think kindergarten starts out with, or first grade starts out with a letter A. And it goes through and they copy the letter A. And then guess what? That's all we'll do for that formal writing for the day. And then we might go get a pan of flour and they practice writing the A in there. And then we just scribble around and do it again. Then we might go, okay, what sound does the letter A make? Teach them the short sounds first. And then I go, okay, let's go find something in the house that starts with A. Let's see if we can find something. And we'll go around and have a hunt through the house trying to find things that start with A. Ooh, all right, then let's get some spaghetti noodles out of the cupboard and put some glue on the paper in an A shape. Let's take those spaghetti, or those like elbow macaroni or whatever, pasta, and let's glue it along the A on the paper. Oh, look at that, how much fun. And then we go through all those things and we're excited about the A. We learn about the sounds of A, all those things, and we review it and we talk about it. Next day we do another letter and then we go back and review the A. All right, what was the A sound? What did it say with that? And we're constantly talking and going through and doing it. When we're out walking and we see something, there's a bumblebee. Oh, look at that, starts with B, doesn't it? All that, counting. Let's count some money. How much money? You want to, whatever, give them some change out of your purse. Get your purse, dump it out. Let them count the change and add it up. Show them how 10 of them makes a dime and how those are exactly the same thing. Share things like that. Talk to your child is the key. That's all I would do. Play. Make some fun Play-Doh fun things with them. Go to the library, check out books, sit and read to your child. There is tons of book lists out there. I have some on my blog of ones we have done. I haven't updated in a long time, but there is plenty on there. You can just, Pinterest is awesome. Pinterest is awesome. Go to Pinterest and say, read aloud books for whatever age child you have. Read aloud, that's what you want. Read aloud means you read aloud to your child. Don't force your kid to read them, you read. And get a variety of books out from your library. Start reading them aloud to your child while they're doing something else. Give them a piece of paper and color. Give them some Play-Doh to play with. Give them something to do besides just sitting there listening. Some kids like to sit and listen, but I found that when they have their hands being busy doing something, they listen a whole lot better. We get out the magnetic tiles, we get out the little magnet ball sets, whatever it is. Just have them do something with their hands while you're reading and read aloud to them. When they will naturally get to the point where they're going to start reading and wanting to read, and they're going to start saying, what's that sign say? What does this say? They're going to naturally do that. You don't even need to force that. I know, newsflash, every kid does. Every kid, unless they have a little bit more of a learning issue. But those, you're still going to have issues. Every kid does. They will eventually start pointing out, look at this, and they're going to start trying to say a word. They might not say it at 7, but they will soon enough. It might be 8, 9, 10. They might not do it till they're 11. What? I know, because you know what this thing right here is called a brain. And every kid's brain works differently. So don't be afraid. Keep reading to them. Get books to read aloud for your 10-year-old, your 11-year-old, and sit and read to them. Trust me. And maybe your child might not ever want to really read by themselves, but keep reading. They're naturally going to want to. And that's when you can introduce beginner reader books. I think Zach on my blog, I have a link to Starfall, I think is the company, that they started a long time ago when Ashton was in school, and they used to give, used to be able to order all their school stuff for free and they'd ship it to you as much as you wanted. They were great. They just pretty much gave it away, which is a great, because now they're a big company. I see that sewing and reaping, but they still have free stuff, but you have to print it off. So I think school stuff they might give it for free, I'm not sure, but anyways, that's a great beginner reading company. And so you go in there and you can get worksheets to do like a workbook and little reader books they can cut apart and practice reading. Zach the Rat, my kids still, every kid did Zach the Rat. Another company, resource free. The Bob books, library, B-O-B, Bob, obviously books, get those. Those are good beginner reader books. On my blog, I have a list for beginner reader books. Get those. Go slow. Don't worry so much about getting through 10 books in a month. More worry about them getting the concept and getting comfortable reading those books. All good resources. All right, then we're gonna move on to the lower elementary grades. Lower elementary, they're still learning, they're still doing. Another tip of advice, everything, when we lived in Michigan, there was no laws, no rules, so we didn't have to test or do that. But I realized that when I was doing these books for the school, their curriculum, everything is a review from kindergarten through 5th grade. By the time you're in 5th grade, you're doing stuff that you did back in the beginning, but it's just a little bit bigger concept. So they always have the one-room schoolhouse. The reason why is because it kind of just builds on, the concept builds every single year. So if your child's brain is not ready to get at a younger age, guess what? They'll get it better the next year. We used to do school all one together. A lot of people do that. They do themes, they do unit studies all together as a group. We did that. And I would just have the younger ones do a little bit less and the older kids do a little bit more. So on my blog as well, I have, I think I call it remedial English or remedial math. That will give you all the concepts that your elementary child has to know. That's good to do if you're just jumping into homeschool and you don't know where your kid is at, because it just reviews everything in a year. So if you wanted to just do that, you could just do a little bit less with your younger one, and then your older one can do maybe a few more pages of it. That's what we always did. So everything is a review. So if you don't get it when they're younger, don't worry, they'll get it when they're older. So what we do, I got my books. We're already in week 5. I take mine and rip them out. We're doing 3rd grade right here. I rip it off because it's easier to do, because these books do not rip very well. Hold on. Let me take a break. I'm gonna talk about this in a minute. I'm gonna do my, you guys wanna watch? I'm gonna do this over here. All right, that's called multitasking, freezer meal. So anyways, so let's go back to what we have to do here. So what we do now is we get these books. We do the 3rd grade. Right now I'm doing the kids in their grade levels. We take out these and we get them. These you get them free on my site, but you can buy the books as well. It's 1 page of spelling, a page of English or math, and a page of English. So I take out and rip these out. You guys see me getting them out for the week. There's 4 pages here each day. We do school 4 days a week, formal paper school. The other day is more hands-on, doing activities, being out, exploring. That's what we do. This is something we do. If I just did this, this would be fine. Now, my life is a little bit different, and I like to have some extra filler papers. Where are those at? Over here, hold on. All right, filler papers. So what I did, you do not have to do this. This is just something else. The company, these I got at Walmart. Now, this is 1st grade. Why are you doing 1st grade, Amy? Because it's more of a review. I don't want my kids learning a new concept from 3rd grade and then going more on it, or this doesn't always line up with my book. So I always buy the younger grades, like this is 1st, and I'll buy 2nd this year. These are like $10 at Walmart. Another place is Sam's Club sells them. I think the bookstores sell them. They're like $10, $15. I'm trying to think of the names of them. You can go on and buy complete 1st grade, big 1st grade. There's other companies that have them. If I remember, I'll put it on the screen here, the different companies. They're like $10, $15 books. You can basically do these each year as well. I just found that these went a little bit faster than my books. And so I like to get these. As you can see, we're about halfway through on this. We're not even 5 weeks into school. We do couple pages out of here each day, and math and English usually with this. These are more, they know this, they feel confident, they can do it by themselves. They're like, oh yeah, I got this. I got this. And they do these. Now these ones are more of learning. And then they're like, because they don't want to learn. You know, kids don't always want to. Not every kid. So these are more the, I can do this. Oh, I know what this means. I can do, and they fill them in real quick. That's what this is for. So this book will be finished 1st grade, and then I'll go get 2nd grade. And I add that to my thing for the year. And then eventually their 3rd grade, they're gonna be towards the end, and I'll get the 3rd grade book and fill it in here, and they'll do grit. Now next year I'll do the 4th grade, and I might not have to do these filler pages because we do other things. It just depends on how much written stuff I want them to do. This is what's working for us right now. So go check, Walmart's got these. They're like thick, comprehensive. I'm trying to think, comprehensive curriculum is one. I don't remember the other name, but I know we've used many over the years. I just saw these, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get those. So You don't have to do that. You can. I do just right now, just because it's my time in life that I like to fill that extra time in there. So we do that, and then we get lots of books from the library. My librarian, we keep our library in business, I say, because we constantly order, so there's always a pile of books. They have to read for a half hour with me, and then we'll sit and read a book as well. That's what we do for younger elementary. Now we have, what grade do I have? Let me see. Okay, then I just have middle school books. I was thinking, do I have any more? No. That's what we do. We don't do any huge science, any huge history. You can, we don't. It's not that my kids don't know about science and history, because we do a lot of hands-on things, and we're naturally teaching them science by being out, being at Greg's shop, cooking in the kitchen, all those things, Jensen's science experiment. So it's not that we're not getting formal, they're just learning. We'll talk about the world and the land and we'll watch videos. So they don't get formal books, but that's okay, because we're learning it in real life. We'll talk about the history of things. We'll talk about those things. But I find that when they're younger, it's no big deal if they don't know that. But don't teach them that. You're just naturally learning that just being in life. So don't be afraid, natural life learning. That's it for elementary. Then we're moving on to middle school. Middle schoolers, I found, need a little bit more work, because if not, they're gonna turn to those devices. So we do a little bit more, not crazy, but a little bit more. Still do the same book. That's what we do. Get these books, it gives them things. If we do a lot of math facts, addition facts. We focus this more in middle school than so much in the younger grades. We do them in the younger grades, but more intensified. I tell my kids, you just have to learn them. You just have to learn to add, subtract, multiply, divide quickly. It's part of life. You have to do it. I know it's not fun, but here you go. So we do a lot of repetition as they get older, because their brains are a whole lot smarter than when they're younger. I don't shove math facts down my little kids' brains, because they can add, subtract, sweet. Eventually those brains will kick in and they'll be able to do it much quicker at this age. So we get this one. And then I say, what else do you want to learn? So we got maps and geography book. Again, type in complete books and type in maps and geography. They have this, the other company that does, I think it's I feel like the comprehensive curriculum has one too. There's a whole lot out there. Sam's Club had these, Amazon has these, like $10. This is grades 3 through 6. Don't be afraid to give this to your, if we've never done maps and geography, then I'll do it then. Does that make sense? Because we didn't do it in 3rd grade, but guess what? We're gonna do it in 6th grade. So they do this. The beginning ones are super easy, which is, you know, come to, obviously that's gonna know this because it's more for a 3rd grader. But by the end, they're doing more older things. So get ones that are in a nice range for your kids. Don't be afraid to give this to your 7th grader if you've never done it before. They'll go through it so quickly. Just don't be afraid of that. That's the thing, is you get afraid of doing that. All right, we don't focus on cursive at all in elementary. What, Amy? I know most kids are gonna learn to type and text. That's gonna be life as we know it, but I still want them to learn. Some people don't even teach cursive. We do. I don't do it until older grades. I get my book. If you don't wanna buy my book, print off the pages on my website, or just buy yourself a notebook and write a cursive A, and then have your child copy it. Do the same thing with a B. All of that, easy. You can do it for free. Notebook, take up. We did, I used to get, it just takes time on your end, but if you have the time because you don't have the money, then great, go buy a 40-cent notebook, one of those, you know, notebooks, make it A. The next page, flip it over, do a big A and a little A, flip it over, go through. Then by the time you get to the end of the alphabet, add some words. That's all these are. That's all these are. They start out with the beginning, with the letters. Let me go through where she didn't. Oh, it does. It starts off with the letters. So it starts off with the letters, and then I did words that they already learned the letters beforehand. So if they did like O, they can write Abe, Ken, Mop, because they've learned all those letters. They learn P on the next page. And then you go through, and then they're doing scripture by the end, and I had them write things out, and then I had them practice, put the alphabet at the top, and then have them write their own things. That's how you do writing. You can do it for free on a piece of paper. Same thing with writing for your kids. You don't have to buy my books. Just go get one of those kindergarten tablets, 1st grade tablets, and have them write in there. The reason why they're bigger is because their hands aren't able to make the smaller, tiny letters like on a regular ruled notebook. And then as they get bigger and bigger, they learn to shrink their writing down. So that's what we do. Is that at 5th grade? Yep. And then we watch videos, we read books, I read to them, I let their brain expand, and what do you want to learn, we'll do it. All right, middle school, that's what we're getting through. Was there more? Oh, here's a few more. Here's a few more. Is there more in here? Middle school, let me keep going. And then, hold on, just make sure I got it all. We also have a 7th grader. So 7th grade is doing the same thing, same kind of thing. And we get extra filler books, because in middle school and high school, usually by middle school is where we're more jamming in the subjects, but we're not really jamming, we're just doing a little bit more work because they want to naturally learn more. So Spectrum is a good company. These ones from McGraw-Hill, and I found these one this year, Shell Education. These are about $10, maybe $15 a book. We used to just use Spectrum all the time. Now there's more companies, so I got a variety this year to try them out. Spectrum is great. So we'll do, again, the grade, and then we'll come through. And if you do the same grade, it's kind of hard if you didn't teach them the concept, because then they're learning things that they don't already know. So be aware of that. Get a grade younger and see how they do that way. And don't be afraid just to buy knowing, because there's only like 9, I don't think there's only 150 pages in here, so there's not a whole lot. You could definitely do 2 of these a year if you worked like the front and back page or whatever, because front and back would be, you know, cut this in half. So get the younger grade and the next grade. Spectrum is good. We did these this year, 180 days of language. Oh, see, there it is, for 6th grade. This is for the 7th grader, because it reviews everything. That's what it was. I was thinking, why do I have 7th grade? So 7th grade, because she's learning new concepts. 180 days of 6th grade to review. These books, she flies through. She does great because she learned it all last year, but it's solidifying it in her brain, and then we're building upon it in 7th grade. This is another one. We got vocabulary, because I have vocabulary words. Again, on my website you can get, we don't do a whole lot extra, just more like tell them and what this word means. Speaking to your child naturally, they learn words, and then most of those words you don't even use because our world doesn't, but we at least teach them what they mean. So I get this, look at 6th through 8th, so then they don't have to take vocabulary anymore because they learned all of this. This might take longer. I don't care if they don't do it all in 1 year, it might do 2 years. I mean, they can do it in a year, but things like these are good books as well. So we've got the spelling ones as well. And we also got geography now. I usually ask them where they feel they're not very good at. And so if they feel like, I'm not really good at math, or I'm not really good at spelling, then we'll get that book extra to do it on top of it. Do you have to? No, you just work it at home. Likes geography. So this is another geography book that we got. This is 6th grade. Seem to enjoy it. That's just what my kids do here. I also do a home ec thing. Even I'm like, kids, watch mom's videos, you learn how to cook. I do a home economics course as well. Kitchen skills, because they want to learn some kitchen skills. This goes through the basics. You can get this book, you can download it as a PDF, you can get it for free on my blog. I have a whole course. The course is actually more, you get more in depth than you do this, and it's free right down there. You can click it and sign it every day. Your kids can make food, do things. I do this in middle school and high school. I don't do it when they're younger, I don't, but this is another resource. But my book, so you can go get it, but it's free again on the thing. All right, then we're going through. I make sure that I don't have the book here, but there is a health Abeka. I find that if I use Abeka old textbooks, don't buy brand new ones, you'll spend an arm and a leg. Buy an old one, because things don't change. We buy an old one for health, and for health, history, and science. Yes. So what I do is you go on there, they have great books. Go buy somebody's old textbook off Amazon or wherever else you can get old textbooks. You can pay like $5, $6. You might have some writing in it, but who cares? And read through them if you don't have a resource from the library. So we have an old health one, which is not out here, and it's a 5th grade book. By the time they're in elementary school, when they get to 6th grade, I'm like, did you read that 5th grade book? And if they didn't, then they do it that year. And it teaches them all the stuff they need to know. There's one for high school. So when they're in high school, I say, okay, go through and do this course. This is a health one. This is an old book. I want to say the year is, let's see, 1999. So yeah, it's like 20 years old, 21 years old. So what we do is the health stuff is pretty much the same. There's not a whole lot of changes. So we make sure they cover this because it goes through all the systems of their body. And then here it is. And if they love health more, we might go get some videos on it. Just get an old school book. Don't buy brand new. You'll spend way more money, and not a whole lot has changed in here. So we do the same for science. Not all my kids bring all my science books up. They didn't bring all of them. But this is, if you type in Abeka, let me see the year on this one. This is 1993, 1980. So this is even older. For elementary, they have all the different grade levels. Go find an older science book. If your child's in elementary, buy the 5th grade one. Buy the 4th grade one and just read through it. They can read through these really quick. My child enjoys reading science. Some of mine do not. So we do that. This is the other one, Matter and Motion. Just different older textbooks that will cover a whole lot and not spend it. And you can keep these. That's what you do. Now, my oldest, Ashlyn, loved doing textbook style learning. She thrived on these. So I bought all these for her, and she would go through and do every single question, every single thing at the end, and loved it. Not all my kids do. So that's just an option to do. We also do the Abeka History of the World. Again, old school book. We do a America, the Story of Us. I don't do one every year, but by the time they're in middle school, I have them do it at least once, or in high school at least once. I have it on my blog, a whole free curriculum based off the America, the Story of Us DVDs. And there's a whole lot of books to go with it, and a whole lot of DVDs to go with it. So you can do it when they're younger. You can also do it when they're older. Check that out, free resource. Order them from your library, you don't have to pay anything. So we do that as the America one. I don't have one for the world. Science and history is not my thing I love to do, so I don't write a curriculum on it. Here's a book, History of the World. So we get this, and my child's reading. And you can also get DVDs, documentaries for free at your library. So another good resource. All right, then they're going into high school. What do I do for high school? Oh my goodness, high school. High school, don't be afraid. High school is real life. So you go, okay, let's go through and teach. Great ideas, let me show you. Library, go to the library. Don't get offended by the title. Math for real life for dummies. The For Dummies series, amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Don't let the name fool you. They have a ton of these. They have algebra for dummies, pre-algebra for dummies, calculus for dummies, all of that. Get these books, buy them if you want, do the work in here. You can buy them for real cheap on Amazon. We check them out at the library and they do them. This is one. Business math, that's a whole course right there. This is what you would learn in school, people. I took these in school, same classes, very basic. The For Dummies series, amazing, 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 amazing. Get these. Great things for your high schooler. Why do you need to do all the pre-algebra classes and all the things they do? No, just get these books. This is what's going to pass their test. This is what they're going to do. This is another one we got, was No Nonsense Algebra. This was somebody recommended this for me. And so we got this. This is another great tool to use to teach different things. So you've got your algebra, you've got your business math, you've got your real life. Real life math is what your high schooler needs to know for sure, because most kids graduate high school and have no idea how to focus and function in real life. So that's what we do. Then you can get, I don't even have an English one here. There was a book in English, and I think Abeka, this is bad. If you need a whole review of high school English, type in high school English, like as a whole, remedial high school English, and you probably find some textbooks. There was one that Abeka sold, and it went through concept, and there was like on one page it had the question, and then you had to go to another page to get the answer. I remember getting that book from the library as well. So type in remedial review of high school English and get that book. You can do that course for 4 years of high school in 1 year. I know, it's amazing, amazing. So same thing with your math, all of that stuff. And that's why your kid's child can get ahead doing things. We do a lot of that, the basics. Now, if you have to take the SAT, you have to do things like that. Get yourself Kaplan GED test prep. This is 2019. Get this book. Let your child work through this book. It's a big book, but guess what? It's a lot of concepts that covers everything on the GED. When they do it and they don't understand it, they can go back and review the lesson. So get one of these for your high schooler, and then they'll cover this right here, general education degree. This covers everything through high school, everything. So if you could afford nothing for high school, have no resources for school, buy this book and sit down and do the pages with your child. Work through it, talk about it, do that. This covers everything. This is high school right here in a book, right here, all right here. Get something like this. Now, they've gone through all that. Okay, so they're still not ready for college. If they want to go to college, go get yourself some college textbooks. What? Yeah, college textbooks. When I went to college, the first year of college was a review of my high school. Amazing. Business math in college was a review of the business math course I took in high school. My accounting classes was a review and a little bit more of that. It was just like quicker. It's not so drawn out. Get that. Get a business math book from a college. Buy it for cheap. Buy it off a college student, and you'd be surprised at how easy in school and work through it. I know, genius. These were books we bought from somebody, got from somebody. All right, so these were something we got from a college student, and it was strategies for successful writing. These are things we didn't teach too much. So we went through, and here it is. It's a college course. They're gonna do it in high school. Another one, this was one of Jaden's favorites actually, it was Success by Design. This is all about how to further your career, what to do, different choices for colleges, all the different options. All right, here, she's taking it in high school, so she does not have to do it in college. I mean, she can do it in college, but she'll already get it. This is helping her hugely. Look into that. What is your child's interest? Go find books on that. Don't buy brand new books. technology and things have not changed, unless it's like, you know, coding and design, drawing, but then you can find other options for your kid. Look for the basics, but get just a high school level, a college level, and old school textbooks. That is a great way to save money for schooling. All right, I'm thinking out loud. Is there anything else? That's a lot of information right there. I think that's a lot of talking here, Amy, but there's so much you can do for free. Start Googling it. Type in free homeschooling resources. There's a gazillion. You need help with math? Type in free homeschooling resources. You'll find so much things to do. There was a website that we went to, and it was, you would go, it would have topics, books. It was based off a book, like a lap book. And we would go and read Little House on the Prairie, and you could download the lap book for free. The lap book, what it did, it had, for each chapter, it had a little bit more work you could do to get more out of that chapter of Little House on the Prairie. A little bit of history, a little bit of English, a little bit of math. That's another great way to expand your child and have them learn differently. Lap books. There was, I don't even know if I have, I'll see if I have the website still. It's been a long time since we've done lap books. If I do, I'll put it below. I remember this. And go there. They have a huge list of freewares. There's so much free stuff out there. You just got to do some looking for it. So I'll put the ones that I know below. But there's just so much. So this is what we do in a nutshell for all our kids. And it's been very much, I bought these books. Most are from the library. They're workbooks. Not a whole lot, but you can do it for free. It's just a little bit more on your end. Myself, I'm working now. There's not a lot of extra free time to write things out and to research as much, so I do buy the books already, and that's the only reason. If I didn't, and I was just at home, just sitting at home all day long with the kids, then I would be doing a whole lot on my own. So resources, tons of resources. Just go Google some, Pinterest. Science, your kid loves science, go focus on science. I have a couple that like science, but not very many. So that child, we go look for science things for them, free stuff. History, focus on what your child loves and go with it for learning. Don't worry about like fitting them into a box and saying, oh, you gotta learn this. If you don't get math, you're just gonna have to do it. There's some things they have to do, but don't worry about doing it that year. Do it the next year. So look and see. As far as reading, when you're looking for books to teach them things to read and learn, there's some garbage out there. There's some good out there. Type in living books, living fiction books. For us, for history, instead of giving them, some of my kids like facts and numbers to learn about times, but if you get living fiction books, you can get a book about the time when, you know, World War I was around, but get a real life textbook. So it's called living fiction book, so that your child can read it and go, wow, that's what it was like, because the living one is showing you from that person's perspective. They get a whole lot more out of how World War I was when they're reading it through the eyes of how this person saw it. That's a great way. You can type in living books and you can see a whole lot, you know, for 5th grade for this. It's the Charlotte Mason approach to schooling. That's another mixture of things we do. I just realized, wow, kids learn naturally through reading and learning. That's another way to look. You can go on Amazon. Amazon has so many reviews. If you just start typing in fiction books for 4th grader, 4th grade girl, 4th grade boy, it'll start showing you a gazillion, and then you can click on it and you can read their review of it and you can go, oh, that's what that person thought. Okay, this is good. Another great free resource. And then go to your library and order that book. So these are just great ways, all free ways. We don't buy a ton of, like, I don't not buy stuff. Like, people are like, put your top homeschooling, I think someone asked me for my top homeschooling must-haves on Amazon. I don't really have a whole lot. There's filler stuff. Like, we have the magnetic tiles, the Picasso magnetic tiles to play with, just natural play, magnet balls, Play-Doh, marble roller. That's it. You know what I find works great? Dice. Get yourself some dice. I think Dollar Store sells you a box of this. We play a lot of games with this where you shake it and add up the 2, subtract the 2, multiply the 2 right here. Letters. This works good. You can buy letter manipulatives at, I think, Walmart, I think, sells them. They probably sell them on Amazon will sell them. We got ours from Bananagrams. I think it's Bananagrams. Bananagrams is it's a banana and it's got all the letter tiles in it and kids can learn to spell. That, and I took some from Scrabble that we were throwing away. There's in here, letter tiles work amazing. If you can't do that, put them on a piece of paper, doesn't matter. And we buy rulers. This is great for adding, subtracting, because look at, there's a number right here and they can learn their counting on their ruler instead of their fingers right here. Buy some lined paper to write in. Buy pencils. Buy the number 2 pencils. I've found over the years, I bought different kinds of pencils. Number 2 pencils. There's a reason why you buy it. We buy that. We don't buy, like the kids already have crayons, markers, and colored pencils, so don't worry about buying that kind of stuff. But that's it. That's all you need to teach your kids, paper and pencil. You don't need any of the stuff. You don't need anything else. Get some construction paper for the younger ones, some scissors, and some glue stick, and cut out things, draw things. But there's so much you can just use in your normal, like cards. We love a deck of cards to play war. The kids love it, especially elementary, to play war together, like where you put down a card, they put down a card, whoever gets a bigger one wins. Well, then put 2 cards down, add them together, and see who has the higher number. Put 2 cards down, subtract them, see who has a higher number, multiply them, whatever. That's another great way to do math. So many ways you can do it for free, where you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. Homeschool purchasing curriculum is great too. I get that. It's wonderful. It looks great. It looks jazzy. It looks wonderful. I don't want to knock the companies because it's time put into it. But it can suck you in. When I remember getting those homeschooling magazines and going, ooh, I need to do this. Oh, we need to do this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this. And I buy all this stuff, spend hundreds, almost thousands of dollars, and then get it and go get a plan for it. And then a few months into it, I was like, ugh, I hate that. Ugh, I got to do this. Ugh, so much work. My kids didn't like it either. So be careful what you pick. We used to have 4 bookshelves full of homeschooling stuff. Most of that stuff just sat and we read and we did a little hands-on thing. So don't get sucked in. It's a great thing. If you really are not comfortable teaching your child, get it. The reason why you can buy, I'm gonna say it back, or Rod and Staff we used to get. We buy it, if you buy the teacher book and the student book and the workbook, all that stuff, the teacher book will tell you exactly what to say and how your child should respond. So if you are completely feel like you cannot do it because you do not have the skills to learn the math and English, that's understandable, I get it. But if you buy the teacher book, it will tell you everything to say, everything to show them. And when they don't, like in the margins, if they don't say the right answer, it says, say this. It breaks it down for you. So if you need that, buy it. Buy the teacher textbook. It'll do that. And then your student can follow along with you and then write the answers on a piece of paper. So those are good for you if you need it. But if you don't and you can do simple addition, simple English, then just do those yourself. So, all right, Ruby's barking. Must be time to wake up. So I have done a lot of talking about homeschooling, but I hope that that has helped you, free you from a little bit of anxiety and a lot of stress for homeschooling your kids. My kids are doing fine. My oldest went to college. She's working on her master's. We schooled that way. When she got to college, she's like, oh, Mom, we never did that concept. It was, I think it was ratios, probability. I didn't teach a lot of that because back then I was like, oh, you're never gonna use that. Well, then she's like, you never taught me that, so I have to learn it. Well, guess what? She learned it real quick in college, like real quick. She just had to study a little harder, but she got it and she's doing her master's. So Colin, I remember him, we followed textbooks and we did trigonometry for him, and he did not care about trigonometry in his teen years at all. And guess what? And then as he got older, he needed it for work. And he's like, well, you never taught me that. And I'm like, yes, I did. We sat and did that. You just did not pay attention. Guess what? He had to learn it in a few weeks' time on his own because he had to for work. And he did. So when they get older and they realize that they don't have the skills in a certain area, they naturally want to get better at it. Like I had one that struggled with test taking. So then they really worked hard at test taking and they did fine and they passed and got their stuff. So don't be afraid of and forgetting something. Oh, I forgot to do that. That's okay. That's okay. They eventually will learn it or pick it up some way, shape, or form. So, okay, I'm done talking about homeschooling. I hope that covers everything. If you have any more questions, put them in the description, in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer on things that I can help you with. So, and I've ones, like I said, I have ones that are gonna do college, dual enrollment, all that stuff, and they all grow up to be successful adults. So, all right, I'm gonna stir my stuff over here. I'm gonna get the stuff cleaned up, and then it's gonna be time to get out the door here. So let's go check our dinner, and then we'll get kids up and you're ready to go. All right, check out dinner. All good. Keep that on slow cook all day. It'll be great. All right, this is how you walk out the door with your drink, your laptop, and your belongings. So it is a beautiful fall day. Picture perfect fall day. Cool.
I'm grabbing library books.
Oh yeah, thank you. Forgot the library books. We're gonna go. We're heading on out the door there. I just want to fall because it's kind of wet and the leaves will be slippery. It is look at all this. Look at all these leaves. Oh my goodness. And then you're going downhill. So it's definitely slippery. I totally just slipped. Saw that, right? I have slipped and fallen on a mountain before, so I don't take slipping lightly. It's okay if it's flat and it got some grip, but that did not. All right, made it to the car. Look at the day. This perfect day. That's a perfect day with Jaden. Yeah, Jaden, that's it, right? You don't want to fall, correct? It's like slippery. I was like, it's like
leaves are wet.
It's like walking down ice. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna fall. So all right. Oh, there's Mr. Grumpy. Mr. Grumpy. I'm gonna be leaving. You're gonna have to move. All right, we're gonna go head on out. I moved my car down here because up here there's 1,000 trees with acorns. I'll show you. We'll get a ton. And last year I parked my car there and I put a couple dents in my windshield. Yeah, I know, dangerous. So I parked down here so I don't get hit with it. Look at Mr. Grumpy. Mr. Grumpy, look at you walking the tightrope. Look at him. He's like looking at Jaden like, I want you to love me, but I don't know. Look at him.
He wants to get inside.
He's so cute. He's like, let me jump in your car. Look at him scratching. Kitties are sharpening those claws for those raccoons and bears when they come up. I'm just kidding. Grumpy, you're so cute.
Like the birds.
Grumpy. Oh, look at those. Look at him. Look at him. See his face?
Like what?
That would be the Grumpy face. He's like, I'm out of here.
I don't like the camera.
No camera. Mr. Grumpy's a little camera shy. So much fun. All right, we are going to go head out of here. Jaden and I, it's so gorgeous out. I can't wait to go to the park later. But for now, we're going to go head out. Let me get in my car here. Oops, do I have my phone? Jaden.
I really hope so.
I did. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. You would run, Jaden. You would. So we are gonna put this back here. We are actually gonna go head out now. We're gonna go head to church, and then our grocery pickup will be ready. We're gonna head there and then go to our library because Miss Ashley, I keep getting notifications. One curbside ready to be picked up. So I got a whole lot of stuff to pick up. I'm sure Miss Ashley's like, are you gonna come today? So I'm gonna send her a text, let her know I'll be on my way, and then we're gonna have a great day. So you ready, Jaden?
Maybe.
We're going.
Oh, for church, yes, but like everything else.
Jaden, shopping.
Jaden, at least it's
Jen squished my shopping fun. No, I'm just kidding. She don't want to do shopping. I don't want to do shopping either. So, all right, we're gonna go head to church. All right, we're at church. We're gonna go in and go do our setup. Jane's gonna go fill some activity bags for the kids that go to church. I'm gonna set up all of our activities for small group so that all the leaders can just come in and pay attention to the kids. Not pay attention, pour into the kids. That's a better word. And pay attention to them too. Without having to cut 10,000 little smiley faces out or stickers or whatever else they have to do this week. So we're gonna go in and do that. Jane's a small group leader, by the way.
Yes,
you are. She is a first and second grader, so she does really good.
Fun.
It's very good. So they do good. So all right, let's go in. All right, here we are, Jaden and myself.
Hi.
Much hotter in the car once again. So we did good. We filled our bins, containers, got activities. Walmart sent me an email, said they substituted some things, and I was like, ooh, I kind of need that, but it looks like it's okay. So we're just gonna go to Walmart, pick up, Jaden. Favorite things in the world. Yay, do that. And then we gotta run to the library. I texted my librarian. I'm like, I have a bunch of stuff to pick up. If you want to start checking it out, please feel free to. And then we'll be there in a few minutes. So we're gonna go do that right now. Take it home. I'll show you what we got. All right, just got some gas. I was just telling Jaden, I'm like, remember back in the day when they used to come out and sanitize the gas things? They don't do that anymore. So now we're forced to put smelly hand sanitizer on.
It smells.
It stinks. It stinks. It was I got the big bottle. We had a big bottle way before everything happened, and I had tons. And then, and we just bought one, and I think I paid like double the price to fill up, and it was so smelly. I'm like, ooh. So now I'm finding it for a little bit cheaper, but I'm just like, no, I'm gonna waste it. Let's use the smelly hand cleaner.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't know if the kids use it or not, so I'm sure they do. No, they do. They're just like, phew, sick.
Maybe.
So we're gonna go. Jane and I are gonna go get groceries. We're gonna be good to go. So we're also gonna share a limited edition merchandise here for my channel. If you look below, you'll see some fall designs down there. It's gonna be a limited edition fall thing. And then come the winter time, we'll do something through the winter time. Just something to express the wonderful beauty of, you know, fall time. So check below, look below up there if you wanna support my channel with some merchandise and get something really cool to wear. Go check it out below. So I'll put it into my little person to get some marriage ones coming up here soon. But
That'd be cute.
I think that'd be really cute. Remember the stick and stay?
Yeah.
I would buy a shirt that said stick and stay. So, all right, hold on. We're gonna go get some lunch. Is that honey pepper pimento?
Yeah.
What? All right, Jade and I are going to Chick-fil-A. We're gonna branch out. I'm gonna branch out. They have honey pepper pimento chicken.
Yeah.
They're doing a trial here. It looks like in North Carolina and South Carolina. So we're gonna try it. see if it's any good. Jane's like, I'll just have the regular. Jane,
Stick with my number 2 spicy
I
chicken
understand. I like mine, but we're gonna go see my order here, and then we'll see if it's any good. All right, we're done in stock. We got some fries, some Chick-fil-A sauce, and then I got the, look at that, honey chicken, or honey pepper pimento something.
It's good.
I'll let you know in a second how it tastes. So Jane got spicy. We're gonna eat. All right. So how is the honey? What's it called? Honey jalapeno pepper chicken something?
Honey pimento.
The first few bites I was like, oh, this tastes like a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And then I had like one jalapeno and I was like, ugh, way too spicy. But after you ate more, as you know, you got more of the flavor. Good, because it's got that sweetness. Got that good pimento cheese, which is delicious. And it's got a little bit of that jalapeno to do spice. So not bad on the flavor. I was like, but could I just take my chicken sandwich and douse it in Chick-fil-A sauce?
Obviously, yes.
I mean, it'd do the same, so not a horrible thing. So, not bad though, but a winner. I mean, I would take it. So good. Good job, Chick-fil-A. Always good. They were literally so fast and quick. We were done and like, got in there 5 minutes later, we're out the door. They're so fast, so I didn't even get through the line, they brought the food. So, we're gonna eat, we're waiting for our grocery pickup, and we're gonna begin. So, see you in like 2 seconds. All right, Jaden's favorite kind of shopping. Just drive and pick up.
Yep, I love it.
We did good. Got a whole thing. Poor guy dropped off the cart. I'm like, that's because it was 50 pounds of dog food for Ruby. I'm so sorry. Ruby needs some dog food. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead to library now. Go to our local library. So we're gonna go there, see, pick up all our books for the week and month. Alright, went to our library. Miss Ashley's the best. She had everything all ready. She's like, just pick them up. I'm like, yes. So we're gonna go head home and take all our groceries in and show you what we got today. Alright, got home now. We'll load everything up. This is it. This was the last grocery haul that I needed for the month, which is nice. This is what we ended up getting. I got a case of water because it's like $2 and I like to keep a few through the winter time. So I got those. These are the containers I bought for the boys' Lego sets. So there's 4 of them here, so they can each have 2. And then they can separate their Legos a little bit better, which is good. We got some, this is gonna be baking next week. Freezer meals, so I picked up baking powder, cocoa. I bought 2 boxes of brownies because they were $1 and we do like brownies. I needed some butter, dark chocolate for next week, chocolate chips, powdered sugar we're gonna use, the crunchy toasted coconut, coconut flakes, whole natural almonds, and ground flaxseed. These are gonna be for something we're gonna do for the baking. Now for the lunches, that's what I'm doing this week. I got a lot of lunch meat because we're doing a lot of lunch meat. Sandwiches for the month. So I've got 2 things of chicken. They actually didn't have the one I ordered, so they got this, which is better. Provolone cheese. I think this is all provolone. Yep. Provolone, provolone, provolone. Salami and roast beef and ham. So again, for meals. This I needed for a container for some of their toys, so I just got one picked up and ordered. Salsa, because we run out of salsa all the time, so I just bought salsa. Salsa, however you say it. Depends on where you're from. They're from the south. I'm from the north. So we got those. We got some corn tortillas that we're going to use in a recipe. And then I ordered these ones. I ordered 3 of these. They had 2 that we did for sandwiches. And then this is the ones they substituted. But I'm like, oh, they look about the same. So this actually is, yeah, they're the same. So we'll just be using just a little bit different style, but no big deal. And then Kaiser rolls, we're going to use these for bread bowls. English muffin for some stuff we're gonna make. I need some orzo pasta and some honey that goes in the baking. 2 things of milk for the month. Funfetti creamer because it's the best, and zucchini. Kind of sad, but I needed it for that zucchini bread, so I got those in there. And then we got a humongous thing of dog food for Ruby. So that was $165 with the plastic containers. So that's, if you add up what I spent for the month, it's a whole lot less than our actual budget. So this is good. Put this away. We'll be ready for lunch for Zir meals on Friday. All right, one of my viewers told me to get the Railway Children. I think this is the old version you told me to get, so the old one. So we're gonna check it out. We'll watch it. I think that's the older one. But we'll see. She said it was based in where she lives, so I'm gonna watch it. All right, so I got all our library books out, put those in the little basket, delivered the DVDs to the room to watch videos, and then now we're doing school. So I'm just calling them individually. Yeah, they know you got containers. They're having a field day picking out Legos. So everybody's got Legos. These are Maddie's Legos. She's like, this is my Lego bin. So she's collecting Legos for her.
I'm just, you know how big the boys' Lego bins. I'm just scooping them.
That's right, because there's so much in there, and they don't need all those Legos. I mean, they do, but they don't care to. They're like, whatever. Steven's room is. He was like, wow, it's really easy to clean my room today. I'm like, I know, because I threw away a whole lot of stuff. Not any like good stuff, it was just stuff that was broken, so it's good. So I'm just taking him, I'm doing Maddie right now, you can keep going, and then I'm gonna do Steven as my last one. So he'll be the last one. I did Autumn and Jensen, and then I'll finish up Maddie here, and then Steven, and then we'll hopefully get to go head over to the park. I know we'll go to the park just to get out, get some fresh air, because it's so beautiful out. All right, beautiful outside. Look at this gorgeous day. What a beautiful little day. Great day. So we've been home for a little bit and been sitting and talking with the girls and the kids. We did our school. Greg came home for a few minutes, and then he had to run back to the shop, and I see there's trash on the ground out there with the dogs. And so we're gonna go head to the park right now. So go head to that nice, we call it the rope park, with the path and the playground. The kids are gonna play. Greg and I are gonna take turns walking, and it's just been a good day. So we're gonna go do that right now. All right, stopped and picked up Greg here at his shop, and then went next door because they have apple cider slushies. You guys don't get apple cider.
I got Cheerwine.
You guys all got Cheerwine, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You guys love Cheerwine. So I got the apple cider. Greg got an apple cider one too. So we're gonna go ahead to the park now. Slushies and park go together well. So, but they were good. It was a reward for kids. Well, good behavior today when I went away. So we're gonna go ahead to the park and get some walking in and playtime. All right, made it to the park. So we're gonna go let the kids play. It's packed, but it's beautiful out. So we're gonna go enjoy a nice little time with our slushies. All right, so I'm sitting here at the park. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but got to do a lap, and Greg took a lap, and we kind of just alternated walking. So he's taking a final one, so I said, you go ahead and do that. I said, I'm good to sit here and watch the kids. So I'm sitting here, the kids are playing over here. They're having fun, so it's good. It's getting late, it's about 6 o'clock, and so now we'll head home, and then we're gonna have dinner. Dinner is gonna be Jared's casserole. I'll show you that when we get home, and then I'm gonna work on today's video. So it's a good, easy day. What a great day. It was a very good day, getting what we had to get done. Everybody's happy playing, end it with fun playing. There's a lot of their friends here from church, which is nice, so they're having lots of fun playing with everybody. So it's a good day, sunshine. Ugh, gotta love that sunshine, because you know that cold is coming. I just hear those trees over there. See those trees blowing over there, and I'm like, oh, you know it's gonna be windy soon enough, but it is so pretty. It's a beautiful day out. It's just beautiful fall day. So all right, we're gonna stay here some more, and then we'll be heading home soon. All right, here's dinner. All we had to do was scoop it on out, and everybody ate. They love it. Is this your guys' favorite?
Yeah.
Jared's casserole, one of your favorites, so it's all good. All right, we're gonna eat some dinner. Look at all the leaves. The MARYONS are gonna be doing some leaf blowing here one of these days really soon. Look at all these leaves. Oh, so many leaves. They're so, I'm walking, oh gosh, I'm walking downhill. Kind of scary. That's gonna work. I've got you propped on Greg's car with a pine cone there. All right, Ruby's barking away. So, what a good day today, a great day. So you got a whole lot in this video. You got like what we're doing for school, which was pretty long. If you're still holding on there, awesome. You're hearing my dogs bark, which is good. No, we got to do our grocery haul for the week, and for the rest is actually for the month for lunches and desserts. Hopefully you can hear me. We'll have to let Ruby keep barking. Hello. I'd be quiet. Maybe I should do it. So you got a whole lot in today's video. You got to see what we're doing for school. You got to see what Jade and I do in our running, and you also got to see the grocery haul for the month for our lunches and desserts. And what else? Got to come home and did some school, spent some time with my kids, and we went to the park, which was awesome. And here I am at home. Dinner was delicious. Kids are like, this is my favorite. Jared's casserole, a winner. Thank you, Jared, for your inspiration on that. So we also have, I don't know if I'm gonna do this one. We just gotta bark for a minute. Let these two bark for a minute. Hold on. Alright, so this is the day that we do a less stuff, more life. This is the part of the week where I just give you something that you can change if you want for your week, and if not, that's okay too. It's just all about, before I blogged, and I wrote some blog entries, put them into a book form. You can go get this for free right below. It gives you 52 different things that you can do, change maybe in your life. One a week, like a barking dog. Find yourself a quieter one. Just kidding. I love my dogs. They're just barking. She'll stand there and bark until she comes down and goes after the cat, which is not doing anything. So, all right. So let me go back to my original thought. 52 weeks for things that you can change in your life if you want to kind of simplify and weed out your life. Some of the things you can do, you don't have to, just whatever you want to do in your life. So this week we're on 44. We're almost to 52 weeks, which is really, really awesome. I'm like, we've been doing this for a long time this year. So this week is going to be chapter 44, around 44 weeks of this already. It's going to be the changes to learn calmness in all situations in life. What? In all, not just some? What? So remaining positive is sometimes, no matter what life throws at you, is something that you can do. People watch my videos and they go, are you really that positive? Are you really, truly that happy? And I can attest to the people that do know me personally, that like spend time with me on a daily, weekly basis, round the clock. Yeah, I really am. Like, really am. I might have a quiet day. I don't say down day because it's just a quiet day, but it's not a day where I'm like so down and life just no, I am like positive and happy because like I love life. I was never before. I was not always like this. No, I was not. I have gone through things in my life. I went through depression. I dealt with that where it just came on and I just felt it. I didn't know what it was, and had babies and dealt with all that depression after the babies and busy and all that stuff. So this is something I've learned to do over the years. And you know who it came from? The one up there, God. It helped when I worked on things with my relationship with the Lord and how He was working in my life, and it makes me be able to look at life a whole lot different. Most of the time, it's how you respond to things. Could you imagine if you responded, and I get it, husbands and wives have fights. Oh yeah, we do. That's a normal, natural part of being together and having two different minds on things. So could you imagine if spouses, if they get angry, they don't let that sun go down that wrath at night, they come together and work through it and get over it. Can you imagine if families, how the bitterness between the families would not be, with kids, with grandparents, in your workplace where you wouldn't have that feeling of jealousy, in your church? Oh my goodness, in church, what? That happens in church? Yes, it does. All those things, could you imagine if people just let that go and didn't let that bother them? It can be done. Why do we make that change? Well, hello, number one, it frees you from that. Heart attacks, stress, isn't that like one of the greatest things people deal with, is stress and anger and high blood pressure because of all not being able to deal with things in life. Focusing on the negative is only going to lead to a bad downhill fall in your life. We don't want to be doing that. The best bet is to learn to be calm in all situations. So how do we go about those changes? What are some things we can do? Well, number one, you can learn to pray. Yeah, simple, learn to pray. It's not really learn, it's just more pray. When you can do what the Bible says, giving God, casting your cares and your anxieties on Him, because He cares for you. When you tell Him what's bothering you, which He already knows, you put that on Him and don't take it on yourself, that's when things change. All right, now the second one you can do is learn to detach. When you are, and some people do this automatically and put like a wall up between each other, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you look at the situation as a whole. So instead of looking at just that tiny little part that's affecting you, look at it as a whole. So you don't just sit there and judge every single thing about the person. Look at it as a whole and realize, what's that person going through? Why are they responding to me this way? Look at it that way instead of that one little thing that's driving you crazy on that person. What's another thing you do? Take a breather. Always stop. When you're going to explode, you feel that blood rising inside of you, in your throat, take a breather. Let it out. Do it a few times before you do it. Sometimes that might mean you saying to the person, you know what, give me a second. I'll be right back. I got to use the bathroom. Go back, take a breather to let go of that. Always a good thing to do. Remove yourself for a minute. If you can't physically, just do it in your head. Some things you just gotta let roll off you. What, Amy? No, that means you're gonna be a beaten down dog. No, it doesn't mean you're gonna be a beaten down dog. It means you let it roll off you and it does not bother you and affect you. Trust me, it's less that you are irked with, the better. And then you can also just get some understanding. Sometimes when you just talk to the person, find out what is the real meaning behind their frustration for things. People always have a reason for anger and rudeness, trust me. If we can understand what the core of that is, it's a whole lot easier to deal with. One of the best things that one of my pastors taught me was to not take offense. And I'm like, what? Like, really? Does that make a big deal? try it. Could you imagine if we learned to not take offense at all? I know people are like, oh no, it's gonna make you feel like you just don't even care and you're oblivious to things. No, it doesn't. It means that you, the person, does not have to take that burden upon you. So when you learn to just blow it off, not even blow it off, just like, oh, whatever, that's that person, makes it a whole lot more better. If couples would learn to not take offense at the little things their husbands and wives irk each other with, well, it's so much better. At your place of employment, same thing. When someone's having a bad day and they say something, and normally it's just because they're having a bad day, or the higher ups are not being kind to them, they're just bringing it down on you. If you learn not to take offense, so much better. In the family setting with kids and older kids and teens, if you learn not to take offense, so much better. In church, yes, in church, people are going to offend you in church. I know, surprise, surprise, because guess what? It's made up of human beings. And we all have our own ways and our own things of doing it. If you learn not to get offended, like if you didn't get chosen to do a class, you didn't get chosen to do something, or you didn't do this, you didn't do that, and you didn't get that, if you learn not to take offense at that, so much better in your scheme of life. That, if you would have tried that and just all these things, like the praying and all those things, taking a breather, yeah. Number one, don't take offense. Don't take offense. Don't take offense to anything, and you will be able to see the changes in your situation of your life. It's pretty amazing. I think that's one of the best tips of advice that I've ever gotten, was not to take offense, because you don't worry about it. It's not my concern. That's them, not me. I'm not worried about it. When you do a decision and you're like, all right, God tells you to do something, you do it. You don't have to worry and be offended if someone says, well, you shouldn't have done it this way, and they get all mad at you. You won't take that personally, because you realize, no, I'm content with where God has me, what God has me to do, and that's what I'm going to focus on doing. So don't take offense, right? Don't do any of that, which in turn leads to calmness in all situations of life. So we want to be calm, peaceful. You can get agitated. I can get agitated. Oh yes, I can, but you want to have that calmness in your life, just to bring that peace about in you. So, all right, this moment is going to go. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow for another day in my life. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. We always do. So, all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.